Rachel Griffin Accurso, affectionately known as Ms. Rachel, has become a household name for millions of families across the United States. Her YouTube channel, Songs for Littles, launched in 2019, was born out of a personal mission to support her son, who experienced a speech delay. Drawing from her background in music education and early childhood development, Ms. Rachel crafted engaging, educational content aimed at helping toddlers and preschoolers develop language skills. The channel's popularity soared during the COVID-19 pandemic, as parents sought quality educational content for their children at home. Ms. Rachel's warm demeanor, combined with her interactive songs and inclusive approach, resonated with a diverse audience. By 2024, her channel boasted over 10 million subscribers, and her videos had garnered billions of views. Her commitment to inclusivity was evident in her collaborations with a diverse cast, including individuals from various backgrounds and identities. Beyond YouTube, Ms. Rachel expanded her reach through platforms like TikTok, where she shared snippets of her content and engaged with her audience. Her genuine passion for children's education and well-being earned her accolades and a loyal following. In August 2024, she announced a toy line, further cementing her influence in the realm of children's education and entertainment. However, Ms. Rachel's journey wasn't without challenges. Her inclusive approach, particularly her support for LGBTQ+ individuals and featuring a non-binary guest on her show, drew criticism from certain conservative circles. Despite the backlash, she remained steadfast in her commitment to creating a safe and inclusive space for all children. In May 2024, Ms. Rachel initiated a fundraising campaign through Cameo, aiming to support children affected by conflicts in regions like Gaza, Sudan, Ukraine, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Within hours, she raised over $50,000, showcasing the power of her platform and the trust her audience placed in her. Her efforts were met with both praise and criticism, reflecting the polarized nature of discussions surrounding global conflicts. Ms. Rachel's dedication to children's well-being, regardless of their background or circumstances, remained at the core of her mission. Her story is a testament to the impact one individual can have in shaping educational content and advocating for inclusivity and compassion. In April 2025, Ms. Rachel found herself at the center of a political controversy when the pro-Israel advocacy group Stop Antisemitism publicly accused her of disseminating pro-Hamas propaganda. The organization urged U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi to investigate whether Ms. Rachel, whose real name is Rachel Griffin Accurso, was receiving foreign funding to influence public opinion against Israel. They alleged that her social media posts, particularly on Instagram, exaggerated civilian casualties in Gaza and echoed narratives aligned with Hamas, potentially violating the Foreign Agents Registration Act, FARA. If she was compensated for such content. Stop Antisemitism's accusations centered on Ms. Rachel's posts highlighting the suffering of children in Gaza during the Israeli-Hamas conflict. They claimed that her content included misinformation and images that had been debunked or were misleading. For instance, the group disputed her claims that 14,000 children had been killed in Gaza since October 7, a figure also used by multiple UN agencies. They also criticized her for allegedly ignoring Israeli victims and hostages, arguing that her posts amplified pro-Hamas sentiment while neglecting the suffering of Jewish children. In response to these allegations, Ms. Rachel defended her posts as humanitarian in nature, expressing love and concern for all children regardless of nationality or religion. She emphasized her commitment to raising awareness about the plight of children affected by conflicts worldwide, including those in Gaza, Sudan, Ukraine, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Her supporters argued that her efforts were rooted in compassion and a desire to protect innocent lives rather than any political agenda. New York Post? The controversy sparked a broader debate about the role of influencers in discussing geopolitical issues and the fine line between humanitarian advocacy and political activism. While some viewed Stop Antisemitism's actions as a necessary measure to prevent the spread of misinformation, others saw it as an attempt to silence voices calling attention to humanitarian crises. The situation underscored the challenges faced by public figures who engage with sensitive topics and the potential consequences of their advocacy. As the investigation request gained media attention, Ms. Rachel's fans rallied in her support, expressing outrage over the accusations and emphasizing her long-standing dedication to children's education and well-being. They highlighted her inclusive approach, which had previously faced criticism from conservative circles, and praised her for using her platform to advocate for vulnerable populations. The incident served as a reminder of the complex dynamics at play when public figures address contentious issues and the importance of navigating such discussions with care and integrity. The allegations against Ms. Rachel ignited a firestorm of reactions across social media platforms, mainstream media outlets, and among her vast audience. Fans and supporters swiftly came to her defense, expressing outrage over what they perceived as an unfounded attack on a beloved children's educator. Many highlighted Ms. Rachel's long-standing commitment to children's welfare and her history of advocating for vulnerable populations worldwide. The hashtag #IStandWithMsRachel began trending on platforms like Twitter and Instagram, with users sharing messages of support and emphasizing the importance of humanitarian efforts irrespective of political contexts. Critics of Stop Anti-Semitism's actions argued that the organization's move to involve Attorney General Pam Bondi was an overreach and could set a concerning precedent for how influencers engage with global issues. They contended that advocating for the well-being of children in conflict zones should not be conflated with political propaganda. Furthermore, they pointed out that Ms. Rachel's fundraising initiatives had consistently aimed to assist children in various regions affected by conflict, not solely in Gaza. Media outlets provided extensive coverage of the controversy, with some echoing the sentiments of Ms. Rachel's supporters. The Daily Dot reported on the backlash against Stop Anti-Semitism, noting that many found the group's claims to be absurd and delusional. The article highlighted the widespread ridicule and outrage online, with users questioning the validity of the accusations and emphasizing Ms. Rachel's positive impact on children's education. Conversely, some media sources presented a more neutral stance, detailing the claims made by Stop Anti-Semitism and Ms. Rachel's subsequent responses. The New York Post, for instance, outlined the organization's concerns regarding potential violations of the Foreign Agents Registration Act, FARA, and included statements from both parties. Amidst the media frenzy, several advocacy groups and public figures voiced their opinions. The Muslim Public Affairs Council, MPAC, released a statement standing with Ms. Rachel, condemning the accusations as unfounded and praising her dedication to humanitarian causes. They emphasized that labeling compassionate calls for aid as Hamas propaganda was misleading and detrimental to genuine humanitarian efforts. The controversy also sparked discussions about the broader implications of such accusations on freedom of speech and the responsibilities of influencers when addressing international issues. Legal experts weighed in on the potential ramifications of invoking FARA in this context, noting that the act is traditionally applied to individuals or entities directly lobbying on behalf of foreign governments. Applying it to a content creator advocating for humanitarian aid could be seen as a stretch and might have chilling effects on free expression. As the debate continued, Ms. Rachel maintained a relatively low profile, focusing on her content creation and educational initiatives. She expressed gratitude for the overwhelming support from her community and reiterated her commitment to advocating for children's welfare globally. Her team released a statement emphasizing that her efforts were solely motivated by a desire to help children in need and were not influenced by any external entities or political agendas. The situation underscored the complexities influencers face when engaging with geopolitical issues and highlighted the delicate balance between advocacy and perceived political alignment. It also brought to light the challenges organizations face in addressing concerns about misinformation and the potential consequences of public accusations without substantial evidence. The controversy surrounding Ms. Rachel has brought to the forefront the complex interplay between social media influence, humanitarian advocacy, and legal scrutiny. At the heart of the matter is the invocation of the Foreign Agents Registration Act, FARA, a U.S. law enacted in 1938 to ensure transparency of foreign influence in American politics and policy. FARA requires individuals and entities acting on behalf of foreign principals to disclose their relationships, activities, and finances. Stop Anti-Semitism's call for an investigation into Ms. Rachel hinges on the assertion that her posts about the humanitarian crisis in Gaza may be influenced by foreign entities, thereby necessitating FARA compliance. However, legal experts have pointed out that FARA is typically applied to individuals engaged in political lobbying or public relations on behalf of foreign governments or organizations. The application of FARA to a children's content creator advocating for humanitarian aid is unprecedented and raises questions about the boundaries of the law. In the absence of concrete evidence linking Ms. Rachel to foreign funding, the likelihood of a successful FARA prosecution appears minimal. Nonetheless, the situation underscores the potential for legal mechanisms to be leveraged in disputes over online speech and advocacy. It also highlights the challenges faced by influencers who, while primarily focused on non-political content, choose to engage with global issues out of personal conviction. Beyond the legal considerations, the controversy has had a chilling effect on content creators who use their platforms to address humanitarian concerns. The fear of legal repercussions or public backlash may deter individuals from speaking out on critical issues, thereby limiting the diversity of voices in public discourse. This development raises concerns about the health of democratic engagement in the digital age. Moreover, the situation has sparked a broader conversation about the role of advocacy groups in shaping public narratives and the potential consequences of their actions. While organizations like Stop Antisemitism play a vital role in combating hate and misinformation, their approaches and tactics are subject to scrutiny, especially when they intersect with issues of free speech and individual rights. As the debate continues, it serves as a reminder of the delicate balance between safeguarding national interests and upholding the principles of free expression. For Ms. Rachel and others in similar positions, navigating this landscape requires a careful consideration of the impact of their advocacy and the legal frameworks that govern it. The controversy surrounding Ms. Rachel has ignited a broader conversation about the role of influencers in political discourse, the boundaries of free speech, and the potential misuse of legal frameworks to suppress humanitarian advocacy. At the heart of the issue lies the question of whether expressing concern for humanitarian crises, particularly those involving children, can be construed as political propaganda. Legal experts have weighed in on the applicability of the Foreign Agents Registration Act, FARA, in this context. Traditionally, FARA is invoked when individuals or entities act on behalf of foreign governments or political parties to influence U.S. policy or public opinion. In Ms. Rachel's case, there is no concrete evidence suggesting she received compensation from foreign entities for her posts about the humanitarian situation in Gaza. As such, applying FARA to her actions may be legally tenuous and could set a concerning precedent for the treatment of humanitarian advocacy. The situation also underscores the challenges faced by public figures who use their platforms to address global issues. While influencers have the capacity to raise awareness and mobilize support for humanitarian causes, they also risk becoming targets of political scrutiny and legal action. This dynamic raises important questions about the responsibilities and vulnerabilities of digital content creators in the modern media landscape. Furthermore, the controversy highlights the potential for advocacy groups to leverage legal mechanisms to silence dissenting voices. While organizations like Stop Antisemitism play a crucial role in combating hate and misinformation, their actions in this instance have been criticized as an overreach that conflates humanitarian concern with political propaganda. This conflation may have a chilling effect on individuals seeking to engage in compassionate discourse about global crises. In response to the backlash, various communities and organizations have rallied in support of Ms. Rachel. Jewish Voice for Peace and other advocacy groups have condemned the accusations against her, emphasizing the importance of distinguishing between legitimate criticism of governmental actions and antisemitism. They argue that equating humanitarian advocacy with support for terrorist organizations undermines genuine efforts to address human suffering. As the discourse continues, it is imperative to foster an environment where individuals can express concern for humanitarian issues without fear of legal reprisal or public vilification. Encouraging open dialogue and critical thinking is essential in navigating the complexities of global conflicts and ensuring that compassion remains at the forefront of public discourse. Ms. Rachel's experience serves as a poignant reminder of the delicate balance between advocacy and political perception. Her commitment to children's well-being and her willingness to address difficult topics reflect the evolving role of influencers in shaping public consciousness. As society grapples with these challenges, it is crucial to uphold the principles of free expression and support those who use their voices to advocate for the most vulnerable among us.